Hello everyone and welcome back guys to Season 3 of the F1 2019 HAAS Road to Glory career mode. And with the new season, obviously comes some driver transfers in the wonderful world of Formula 1. Now I know some people aren't such a fan of these videos and I know there are some limitations with them, but hopefully you guys do sort of go on to enjoy this video. It's meant to be sort of more information as to who has gone where, ready for Season 3 of the F1 2019 HAAS Road to Glory. And obviously we approach the teams during winter testing where all their new lineups have been revealed at the circuit Catalunya. So yeah, just to let you know, obviously there are limitations with this game. You know, I can't record the drivers with the correct numbers and my Photoshop skills are horrible as well. But yeah, hopefully you guys still enjoyed this video nonetheless. Plenty to go through, plenty of driver transfers. If I'm not mistaken, 6 teams have changed up their lineup for the new season, so very much looking forward to seeing who has gone where. And we'll start then with reigning champions Ferrari. Then obviously they managed to get both of the titles last year, and well, not keeping either of their drivers. Both of the Ferrari men actually went on the move at the end of last season. You know, with the slack of Ferrari performance right towards the end of the season, both drivers decided, you know, they jump ship and move elsewhere. So Ferrari really struggling for drivers heading into Season 3. Actually picked up Lucas Weber, who obviously finished 6th last year with a Renault after picking up a couple of race victories. And then Valtteri Bottas as well from the Red Bull team. So a bit of an interesting lineup coming into the new season for Ferrari. Obviously, whether they're going to be able to hold on to both world titles is certainly going to be very difficult. They come into the season having won back-to-back Constructors' World Championships, and obviously Sebastian Vettel won at the Drivers' Championship last season out as well. They come into this season about 5th in terms of performance, but as we've always seen from Ferrari in the past, you know, the performance chart doesn't always do them justice. They usually end up being a bit quicker than the chart does let on. So yeah, it'll certainly be interesting to see how Ferrari fare as we head in towards the new World Championship and see if they can try and hold on to their titles. Obviously, if they do hold on to the titles, one of these drivers will become a Formula 1 World Champion for the very first time as well. So it'll certainly be exciting to see what will happen from the Italian team heading on in towards what this is now 2021. That is absolutely crazy to think about. And then we move over onto one of the other big teams from Formula 1, and a team that really had a big downfall in performance over the course of 2020. And they have once again, actually, the second team in a row to with a completely new lineup as we head in towards 2021. Obviously, Devon Butler did actually come to the team with a few rounds to go of last season, replacing Lewis Hamilton as he moved on to a Renault here. But yeah, pretty much a fresh start for for Mercedes even, I should say. And they have brought back in Daniel Ricciardo, who's actually dropped, obviously, by Renault midway through the 2019 season, halfway through Season 1 of this career mode there. And it's always been a bit weird, obviously, not seeing Danny Rick on the grid. But he is back for 2021, back and with a bang, you know, with Mercedes, obviously one of the big dogs in Formula 1. Hopefully we'll see a bit of an upturn in performance from these guys. Obviously, they took a few race victories in the early stages of F1 2020 and then just absolutely fell off the pace. You know, they were struggling for points towards the end of the season here. So whether we'll see a bit of a resurgence of form from Mercedes, we will have to wait and see. But yeah, certainly excited to see what the multiple world champions can do as we head in towards 2021. They're ranked as the 6th best car as we head into the new season, and generally speaking, unlike Ferrari, it seems to be always a bit optimistic for Mercedes what they can achieve, you know, based on their car performance. But yeah, we'll wait and see nonetheless as to what Mercedes can do as we head in towards 2021. I'm sure their aims at the moment are probably just rebuilding around their new 2 drivers. So yeah, certainly going to be exciting to see what these guys are going to be able to achieve. Then we move on then to a Red Bull, and a really not so interesting lineup from Red Bull in all honesty. They've actually gone back to 2019 square one. Now obviously in this version of Formula 1, Pierre Gasly was never actually dropped and moved back down to Toro Rosso for the new season. So yeah, Red Bull, they've gone back to Pierre Gasly after a bit of a failed attempt during 2020, you know, with Valtteri Bottas. Yeah, Red Bull have decided doing the typical Danny Kvyat strat now with Pierre Gasly. They've actually gone back to Pierre Gasly. Verstappen remains with the team for his 3rd season now. One of not many drivers, in all honesty, to be, you know, where he began in 2019, you know, stuck through, especially from sort of the bigger teams. You know, they like to make a lot of driver transfers, I've noticed, on F1 2019. But yeah, Max Verstappen has been with the team 2019, 2020, and now as we head in towards 2021, he is sticking with Red Bull once again. They've now obviously been with the team since 2016, so yeah, worked with them for nearly 6 seasons now in Formula 1, obviously, after joining them at the Spanish Grand Prix of 2016. But yeah, Pierre Gasly back in the Red Bull as well. I'm sure he's got a lot to prove relative to Max Verstappen as well. Obviously, he did take a couple of race victories last season just as Mercedes started to slack off the performance. Obviously, I think he won at the French Grand Prix, if I'm not mistaken here. So certainly is going to be hoping for a bit of an upturn of fortune back at Red Bull as well. And they head in towards the new season ranked as, I think, the P4 car as we head in towards the new World Championship. And yes, certainly they want to be trying to fight for wins once again in the cutthroat world of Formula 1. Moving on, though, into Racing Point, and honestly, one of the most exciting prospects as we head into 2021. They won, 6 of the last 7 Grand Prix in the 2020 season, and they certainly look like the team to beat. But rather surprisingly, their main man, Sergio Perez, who dominated the latter stages of last season, he's actually been dropped for Sebastian Vettel, obviously now the 5-time Formula 1 World Champion, the reigning World Champion, as we head in towards 2021. He is surely looking to try and get world title number 6 and look to try and get back on equal terms with Lewis Hamilton as we head in towards the new season as well here. And yeah, Racing Point actually going for a full German lineup for the new season, keeping Nico Hülkenberg, who obviously came back to the team partway through the 2019 season, so he is back once again with the outfit after taking his very first podium in Formula 1 and then obviously his very first race victory as well last season. It didn't really quite have what it, didn't quite stack up to Sergio Perez towards the end of last season. He obviously played second fiddle and got quite a few second places towards the end of the year there. But obviously Sebastian Vettel, reigning world champion, Racing Point come into the new season as the team to beat as well. It's certainly going to be exciting to see if he can manage to obviously win back-to-back world titles, obviously after swapping teams. Not done often in the world of Formula 1, and yes, certainly going to be exciting to see what Racing Point can do in 2021. Can they keep up the momentum that they had in F1 2020? Only time will tell in the new season here in Formula 1. Moving on, though, into our team then, and we head over to HAAS, and well, obviously, we've stuck with the outfit once again, but rather to my disappointment, HAAS have decided to keep Romain Grosjean once again there after he scored no points last season to my 49. Yeah, for some reason, HAAS have once again decided to stick with our driver lineup there. So we've had the same driver lineup since obviously 2019. I think one of 2 teams, if I'm not mistaken. It's just us and one other that have kept their driver lineup through all 3 seasons so far of the F1 2019 HAAS Road to Glory. And yes, we head in towards 2021. We come into the new season as still the 7th best car in Formula 1. We've made big strides, though, up towards Mercedes, considering obviously we left the Australian Grand Prix last season as the worst car in Formula 1. We have made a lot of progress of really trying to fight back up the order in the cutthroat world of Formula 1 once again, and it's certainly going to be exciting to see what we can do relative to the rest of the field here, because yeah, we've got a lot of work to be doing. I came into this season wanting to be scoring consistent points. Whether we can try and get Romain Grosjean back up into the points is certainly going to be a different task, and yeah, honestly quite surprised that we've kept him on for yet another season here. Personally, I would have loved to have seen Kevin Magnussen come back, or maybe, we've had a couple of driver transfers around this world as well. But yeah, coming into the new season, though, 7th best car. We're still on a rebuild at the moment. We're still on an upward trajectory. We've got a few big upgrades coming in over the next few Grand Prix. It's certainly going to be exciting to see how we fare. And then we move on, though, to what I quite possibly think is the most firework lineup in Formula 1. Renault have really spent the big bucks coming into 2021. And as you can see, they have gone with Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, 2 of the biggest stars in Formula 1 over the last few years. Obviously, Charles Leclerc, the heartbreak, missing out on the world title to his teammate Sebastian Vettel at the end of last season. He really started to get the grips of the Ferrari just as it started to lose grip as the best car in Formula 1. And yeah, really dropped off the pace towards the end of the season. Meant that, yeah, Charles Leclerc jumped ship as well as his teammate Sebastian Vettel. And now it's going to be interesting to see, if we can see a dogfight between these two, obviously in different teams. Renault come into the new season with the, I think it was 2nd best car in Formula 1, obviously just behind Racing Point, so it's certainly going to be exciting to see what Renault can do in this new driver lineup. It's certainly going to be interesting to see who actually comes out on top between Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. Both of those drivers obviously really want to prove themselves relative to each other and to the rest of the field here, and yeah, it's certainly going to be an exciting team to watch over the course of 2021. Renault was still looking to try and get back up into World Championship fighting form, and with the reset of the points heading into 2021, yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting to see whether Renault can now finally match themselves as, you know, proper continual race winners. They did get a couple of race victories last season, but certainly they didn't get enough to really sort of fight for the title. They finished P3 in the Constructors' Championship, long way behind Racing Point, who I'm sure they are probably seeing as their big rivals as we head in towards the new season. Moving on, though, to Williams, and yet another driver lineup transfers coming in at Williams, and it's Lando Norris keeping his seat from 2020. Actually, a fairly decent resurgence towards the end of the season. They're picking up 51 points for the Williams team there. He did just about muscle me out for P11 in the Drivers' World Championship at the end of the day, with a really, you know, I was a big fan of the 2020 Williams lineup. It was sort of that driver lineup in Formula 1 I didn't know I wanted, but yeah, really did enjoy seeing it there. And unfortunately, it hasn't been kept for 2021. Lando Norris completely trounced George Russell at the end of the day. Near enough scored twice his points at the end of the World Championship. And I can confirm George Russell has unfortunately been dropped for 2021. The Formula 2 champion came into 2019 as, you know, a real sort of hot property in Formula 1 and just never quite lived up to the, you know, performance that was expected of him as we head in towards Season 3 here. So Sergio Perez has actually gone to Williams to join Lando Norris. Now, Williams come into this season ranked 3rd in terms of car performance there, and Sergio Perez, on the back of so many race victories towards the end of last season, I'm sure he is looking to try and take home even more victories in the world of Formula 1 there. So yeah, certainly going to be excited to see what he can do with Williams. You know, they're looking to really try and get back up towards the front of the field now, looking to try and fight for race victories and everything like that, but we'll have to wait and see if that does come into fruition as we head in towards the new season once again here. And yeah, certainly going to be excited to see what Williams can do in this new season. You know, Renault, Williams, Racing Point, Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, hopefully HAAS as well. You know, there are a lot of teams that can really try and muscle their way up into the top 10. But I'll be honest with you guys, that actually is the end of the driver transfers for the 2021 season. McLaren have opted to keep their lineup. The same can be said for Alfa Romeo and Toro Rosso. So despite all three teams having a really poor seasons in 2020, obviously, between all three teams, they scored just 9 points last season. And between their 6 drivers, it was only just 2 that scored at the end of the day. They couldn't really hang on to me, as obviously I scored quite a lot of points for HAAS through a few Grand Prix there. And yeah, really, you know, hoping for all three of these teams. You know, I'd love to see them all up inside the top 10 at, you know, scoring points consistently in the new season there. But yeah, just for clarification, obviously McLaren have kept Moneybags Lance Stroll there. Obviously his father, Lawrence Stroll, obviously trying to pump some big money into McLaren, as well as Carlos Sainz for the team as well. I'm sure he's looking to try and score some points once again in the new World Championship. I think his last points last season were at the Spanish Grand Prix, or maybe, you know, sort of Monaco, not very far in towards the year. And then obviously McLaren went on a huge drought throughout the latter stages of 2020 there. So yeah, they're looking for a real upturn of success in 2021, but a long way to go. They're ranked as the 8th best car as we head in towards the new season. They are certainly in desperate need of a resurgence of form, because, you know, they have really lacked pace, you know, all the way since F1 2012 really is probably now the best way to describe. You know, they have never really sort of got back up towards any sort of race winning potential there, and yeah, they're looking to try and claw it back in 2021. The same can certainly be said for Alfa Romeo as well. They've kept Kimi Räikkönen, who scored the team's 2 points in the 2020 season there, as well as Antonio Giovinazzi once again, you know, in that Ferrari seat within the team. Ferrari, for some reason, still have hope in Antonio Giovinazzi, after I don't think he's so far scored a point in Formula 1, now heading on into his 3rd season. But yeah, this is another team that have kept, I think this is the only other team, these guys, Toro Rosso and HAAS, the only teams to have kept their full driver lineup since 2019. So yeah, certainly going to be excited to see what Alfa Romeo can do as we head in towards the new World Championship. They've still yet to score some big points in the world of Formula 1. And yeah, coming to the new season ranked 9th in terms of performance, only ahead of Toro Rosso. I'm sure at the moment they want to be on a bit of a resurgence as we head through the first half of 2019 and potentially look into points, through the first half of 2021, and yeah, potentially want to look for points in towards the latter stages of the World Championship as well. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see as to what Alfa Romeo can do. Obviously, a team with so much heritage in the world of Formula 1, but really just have not got back up to the pace that I'm sure they would have liked in this season. And then we move on, obviously, to our final driver lineup for 2021. And obviously, like I said, it has been kept the same since 2019 it is going to be Toro Rosso, the only team still yet to score in this HAAS Road to Glory career mode. You know, they didn't score in 2019, they didn't score in 2020. They come into 2021 as the worst car in Formula 1. It is certainly going to be difficult for both Alexander Albon and Danny Kvyat in that seat. Quite surprised, honestly, we haven't seen Red Bull try to get someone else in that seat nonetheless. But yeah, unfortunately, for Toro Rosso, it is, certainly still looking like it's going to be an upward climb as we head through 2021. You know, really, for those guys, it's probably just trying to get up towards the rear of the field once again. They've very much turned into the games version of what we're seeing from Williams in IRL Formula 1 at the moment there. And I really, really do hope we see a resurgence from Toro Rosso, as well as every team. I just want to see everyone scoring points, I'll be honest with you guys, at the end of the day there. But yeah, certainly a lot of exciting driver lineups as we head in towards 2021. 6 teams changing up their lineup. Ferrari go for a full refresh. Mercedes basically on a full refresh. Obviously, Devon Butler's only got a handful of races with the team as well. Red Bull back to their 2019 lineup. Racing Point obviously now with 5-time world champion Sebastian Vettel. Renault with a basically full reset as well, obviously after Lewis Hamilton went to the team from Mercedes, obviously with just a few rounds to go of 2020 there. Joined with Charles Leclerc. That is certainly going to cause some fireworks in this Formula 1 world, as well as obviously Lando Norris and multiple race winner now Sergio Perez joining Williams as well. The HAAS, McLaren, Alfa Romeo and Toro Rosso, the 4 bottom teams at the end of 2020, keep their driver lineups. But that'll do us then for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video, and hopefully I will see you guys tomorrow for the Australian Grand Prix.